What's going on, disc golfers? This is Gabe from No Chains Needed, and this is what I believe to be the top 10 MPO storylines going into the 2023 season. With the Las Vegas Challenge just around the corner, I thought there was no better time to dive into the best storylines this season will have to offer. At number 10, first Elite Series winners. There are a ton of big-name players always making their way to the top of the leaderboard. I'm looking at guys like Matty O and Joel Freeman, who have been top 10 players for quite some time. They have been so close to getting it done. I also look at Chris Clemens, a top 20 player who is due for a big one. There are also some up-and-comers who are more than capable of taking home a big win. Will there be a brand new Elite Series winner in 2023? Number 9. Brodie Smith on the rise. Love him or hate him, you can't deny that his rise in the ranks over the last few years hasn't been impressive. From being a straight-up beginner over 3 years ago to now solidifying himself as a top 30 player in the world has been pretty remarkable. He was able to get a top 3 last year at DDO. It would not surprise me if he was able to take down a Silver Series or an Elite Series win this season. Number 8. The return of Nico Locastro. After what happened at the European Open last year, Nico was suspended for 6 months. He lost his sponsorship with Clash Disc and is now signed with Lone Star and is ready for a comeback. Nico is a fiery and competitive player, and sometimes that can be to his strength and could also be his downfall. Do I think what happened at the European Open was blown way out of proportion? Yeah. Do I think that his suspension was fair? Also, yeah. I think that the time off might have done some good, and maybe he'll come back with a fresh perspective and will be ready to prove a lot of people wrong. Number 7. Will the All-Stars of recent years find their way back to the winner's circle? There are a handful of All-Stars from the last few years who are looking to get back in the conversation of players who can win on any weekend. I'm looking at players like James Conrad, who hasn't had a win since, what was that thing that he did in 2021? Or Kevin Jones, who hasn't had an Elite Series win since the Pro Tour Championships in 2020. And players like Kyle Klein and Adam Hammes, who had massive breakout years in 2021, but were unable to get back to the top spot last year. Number 6. Calvin's first major championship. Calvin is a top 5 player in the world, but that is starting to get debatable. With Eagle back next year, Simon playing better than he ever has, and with Gannon already winning a major title of his own, Calvin might fall back in those debates moving forward. I feel like the question with Calvin is not will he win a major, but when. Could this be the year he breaks through and gets it done? I guess we'll have to see. At number 5, the year of the young Prodigy. Speaking of Gannon, yeah, the kid is an absolute unit of a player. Almost winning his first Elite Series on the first tour stop last year at Vegas, to ending the year off with a USDGC title. Oh yeah, and he just graduated high school. Yikes. This dude's gonna be scary for a long time. Number 4, chasing Climo. With Paul McBeth having 16 major titles and the competition getting more fierce every year, the clock is ticking on him catching Climo's 19 major titles. I do believe he will catch him before his career is all said and done, but it's definitely something to watch for over the next couple seasons. Number 3, Eagle all the way back. With a brutal injury to his shoulder before the 2021 Disc Golf Pro Tour Championships, in which he had to drop out, Eagle has not been the same player. A long and lengthy rehab has had him attempt multiple comebacks over the last 2 years, but he has not been able to play more than just a handful of events since the injury. Eagle was somehow able to win his second major last year at the European Open, in which he took down Paul McBeth in one of the most incredible battles I've ever seen. Seriously, if you haven't seen the coverage, go watch it. Eagle and Paul demolished everyone in the field. Will Eagle's sidearm ever return to where it was pre-injury? Or will he just prove that he doesn't need it and just let his world-class backhand and putting get the job done? Number 2, Ricky Wysocki's major title drought. Ricky Wysocki has been an absolute force and unarguably the second best player of the last decade. But even with all of his Elite Series dominance, he has not been able to win a major since his 2017 world title. Yes, you heard me. Ricky has not won a major since 2017. This drought is starting to be talked about more and more throughout the community, and I'm sure Ricky is feeling the pressure with every major tournament that passes him up. Will we see him Raptor leg his way to another major title? Time will tell. And at number 1, you probably guessed it, Simon Lizotte to MVP. When you think this mania, you think immediately of players like Avery Jenkins and Eagle McMahon, but the first player that usually pops into everyone's mind is without a doubt Simon Lizotte. He was with this mania for 10 years, and now he has signed with MVP for what might just be the largest contract in disc golf history. There will definitely be some growing pains with throwing a new bag, but I think with how long Simon has been playing and the fact that he is a literal god of angle control, I think he'll be fine. I know he won 4 Pro Tours last year, but do not be shocked if he doesn't snag an Elite Series win this year. Look, I love Simon, he's one of my favorite pros in the game, but there are so many great players on tour right now, and maybe even 30 plus players who are capable of winning every single week. I would love to see Simon have the success he had last year, but I think even Simon himself will be pumped to snag at least one win in 2023. Thank you all for watching. If you think I left any good storylines out, be sure to leave them in the comments for me. I'm super excited for February 23rd to roll around and kick this season off. Like the video and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next one.